Hi everyone, and welcome again to Nettle, the go-to place to learn about business, finance, economics, and much more. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click that bell notification button below so that you never miss fresh videos and tutorials you might be interested in. Many thanks to our current Patreon supporters and YouTube members for making this video possible, and we'd also greatly appreciate if you consider supporting us as well. So please check the link in the description and click the join button below for more details. My name is Sava, and today we're investigating a quite recent yet very influential development in portfolio management and performance evaluation, which is the Probabilistic Sharpe Ratio, or PSR for short. And it heavily builds upon the statistics of Sharpe ratio concepts developed earlier by Andrew Lo, and that we have covered in a series of previous videos. So check those out if you are first and foremost interested in simple mathematics and statistics of Sharpe ratios and the fundamentals of performance evaluation and significance testing with Sharpe ratios. However, one of the most common criticisms addressed at Lo's techniques is that it assumes that returns are normally distributed. And Lo acknowledges that criticism himself in his paper, however, leaves further developments that account for non-normality for further research. And one of the ways to account for non-normality as well as serial correlation and volatility clustering is bootstrapping. However, there has been no closed form solution developed for non-normal returns in particular until the paper by Bailey and Lopez de Prado in 2012 in Journal of Risk that incorporates skewness and kurtosis into the standard error calculation for Sharpe ratios. And the beauty of their finding and their proof is that they have shown that skewness and kurtosis in higher moments of the return distribution, if it is non-normal and these moments are non-zeros, they go just into the calculation for the standard error. Everything else can be left as is. You can still assume that your calculation of the Sharpe ratio estimate is unbiased. You can still assume that the Sharpe ratio itself is normally distributed, just that its standard error is different. And here we have got skewness going into the picture, as well as excess kurtosis, S and K, quite intuitive notations. And we can see that for positive skewness, the standard error of the Sharpe ratio would be smaller, and for negative skewness, this standard error would inflate. And that addresses a very common occurrence in Sharpe ratio calculation procedures and Sharpe ratio misreporting, Sharpe ratio inflation in hedge funds, for example, where you've got prominently negative skewness, which, as per Bailey and Lopez de Prado proof, inflates your Sharpe ratios and widens your confidence intervals. So this formula quite neatly addresses this concept. And similarly for heavy or fat tails, positive kurtosis inflates the confidence intervals, it widens them, whereas negative kurtosis does shrink the confidence intervals. So this formula implicitly penalizes a portfolio manager for negative skewness and positive kurtosis, which is something that is deemed favorable of a performance evaluation technique. And you can also see that for the particular case of skewness equaling 0 and excess kurtosis equaling 0, this formula just collapses to the conventional Lo's formula for the standard error of a Sharpe ratio when returns are normally distributed. So let's apply this technique to BlackRock monthly returns, calculate its monthly Sharpe ratio, and test whether it exceeds with significance a particular benchmark, and then talk about the interpretation of the final PSR, probabilistic Sharpe ratio calculation. Well, we don't need to be too fancy. Calculate monthly returns, total return index this month over total return index last month minus 1. That gives us monthly returns that we can apply throughout. We can remember that the current annual treasury bill yield for 10 years in the US is around 3.3%, and we've got monthly data, so to bring it down to a monthly frequency, we can use 1 plus 3.3%, raise it to the power of 1 over 12, and subtract 1. That would give us a monthly risk-free rate of 0.27%. For the return, we can use the geometric mean function, applying it to 1 plus the returns, and then subtract 1, giving us an average monthly return of 1.55%. The risk is just the sample standard deviation, again just the volatility of BlackRock returns, 8.73%. And now we have to calculate the skewness and kurtosis using built-in Excel functions. We can see that BlackRock returns are positively skewed, as well as they have a positive excess kurtosis, meaning that there is slightly more upside when invested in BlackRock, and the tails are slightly heavier than the normal distribution implies. And bear in mind, those are monthly returns that tend to be quite a bit more well-behaved than daily returns. So on daily returns, this picture might be even more pronounced. Now we can calculate the monthly Sharpe ratio by dividing the excess return, which is return minus risk-free, over the volatility, which gives us a monthly Sharpe ratio of 0.15 approximately. And let's try and beat some target Sharpe ratio. Let's assume, for example, that the target Sharpe is 0.1, and you can take the market Sharpe ratio here, so the Sharpe ratio of the agency portfolio, or the Sharpe ratio of a broad market benchmark. This is what makes the PSR quite a bit more interpretative. You can interpret it as probability of your manager having superior skill in that sense, if you're dealing with portfolio evaluation. And then we need to have a record of our sample size. That basically means we need to count our returns, 276. And now we just apply this formula in Excel, the square root, and then in the numerator we have 1 minus skewness times the estimator of the Sharpe ratio, which is over here, plus our excess kurtosis plus 2 divided by 4 times our estimated Sharpe ratio squared, divided by n minus 1 due to the usual correction, and that gives us a standard error of around 0.06, which then leads us to just plug our Sharpe, our target Sharpe, and our standard error into the cumulative normal distribution function. Here, the interpretation is not necessarily analogous to a p-value, and then I'll explain why. So we just do the standard normal distribution. We plug in our z-stat, which is Sharpe minus target Sharpe, over the standard error we've just calculated, and then we plug in 1 for cumulative. That results in a PSR value of 78.35%. This is interpretable as follows. We can deduce that our portfolio manager that produced such a portfolio with such performance has superior skill over the market with 78.35% probability. And that's why PSR is also known as probability of skill, and that's why it's called probabilistic Sharpe ratio. We're not concerned with the absolute value necessarily, but we're concerned with the probability of meaningful outperformance. And this is why the target Sharpe ratio is preferable to select as the Sharpe ratio of some benchmark or some well-known target. And that's all there is for the probabilistic Sharpe ratio and its application in Excel and interpretation of the results. Please leave a like on this video if you found it helpful. In the comments below, I'll make you any further suggestions for videos and business, finance, or economics topics you would like me to record. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and consider support us on Patreon. Thank you very much, and stay tuned.